Welcome back into the Roll Jays podcast. I'm Jimmy Allen. That's Alex Drake. We appreciate you joining us here for episode 13. We're brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Alex, we decided to call it audible. We're going to talk a ton of Jays basketball throughout the rest of this. Casey Matthews, the former video coordinator for Creighton basketball, is going to join us, talk about what he's moving on to, what his experience with the Jays has been like, and what's next for him. You may see him more than just in this episode. There's a little bit of a tease for you. Also, we're going to talk to Julien Berry. And I don't think I've ever seen Alex as giddy as he was throughout this whole interview. He's the team manager for the Jays, a role that Alex knows a little bit about. He's going to join us. It's a really cool story. He's just a giant basketball fan. Played some high school basketball. Is enrolled at Creighton. Is a part of this team from a manager standpoint. And does all the dirty work that we don't really see behind the scenes. I'm very excited to talk to him and get a little bit of an insight what a team manager does behind the scenes. Alex, when this podcast drops on Tuesday, we'll have a whole slate of NFL games to get through. But we're coming off the heels of the Detroit Lions upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is a prequel to the NFL season. Before we talk college basketball, do you have any preseason takes on the NFL that you'd like to put out in the universe?
I think it's wild what's happening in the NFL with running backs, specifically the Jonathan Taylor situation right now.
Yeah.
But I was really happy to read an article yesterday, and I'm by no means a Packers fan, so don't take this as that. But I was really pleasantly surprised when I read the article about there being rumors of A.J. Dillon holding out as well, and A.J. Dillon just kind of shot that down right away. And laughed about it. All he cares about is winning with his team, which was nice. But I understand Jonathan Taylor's standpoint. I understand why a lot of running backs feel this way. I say all that to say
him and Dalvin Cook are two of the top 5 running backs in the NFL a year or 2 years ago, and both kind of just sitting on the bench right now.
Yeah. Well, Dalvin Cook got signed, right?
Yeah, he got signed, but Jets. I mean, just from a sense of, hey, he was the guy in Minnesota to, hey, I think I'm worth this, and it's just like the market says otherwise. Good luck in New York. You know what I mean? Because he was a top 3 running back just 2 years ago.
Well, here's the most wild part of it to me, from Indianapolis' standpoint. Like, you're not willing to pay Jonathan Taylor, but when he asks for a trade and you honor saying, hey, we'll trade you, but you have to find somebody that's going to give us X.
Yeah.
What they are demanding in a trade is not equal to what they're willing to pay him in any way, shape, or form. And that's just ridiculous.
Here's where I kind of get Indianapolis' standpoint. I don't think this is necessarily the same for the Vikings and the Dalvin Cook situation, but Jonathan Taylor is a very, very good running back. Top 3 running back in the NFL. I think he's worth what he's asking for. But the problem is the spot he's in right now. With Jonathan Taylor, without Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis isn't winning a Super Bowl. So to me, I get where Indy's coming from because he's going to provide value to their team this year. That's not going to equate to a championship. It's probably not even going to equate to a playoff run. However, that value is still there, right? Like he's still that value of talent. So I get the standpoint they're coming from. Unfortunately for Jonathan Taylor, he's a part of a dumpster fire, and that's not going to help his cause.
I think you can find a happy medium in there. I think their asking price for him can come down a little bit.
Right. And they're very much, I think, trying to figure that out as well.
Yeah. What I will tell you is the most absurd offseason free agent signing, in my eyes, was done by my New England Patriots in signing Ezekiel Elliott.
Do you guys need a new center?
I don't know. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson could go play center for all I care. I just, maybe with Bill's bad breakup, he's going to be more focused on football, and all of a sudden we'll be good again. I'm not happy with Mac Jones. I'm definitely not happy with the wide receiver room.
Yeah. Who do you think that finished maybe last in their division or second to last that has a chance at winning it, making a playoff run this year?
Well, I think you got to look square one at the Jets, right?
Yeah, maybe that was a softball, huh?
Yeah, adding Aaron Rodgers is a huge deal there.
Okay, outside of the Jets, but I think that's the easy one.
Yeah, the Jets is an easy one. I really think, and this isn't just based off last night. I felt this way heading into the season. I think Detroit has a chance to be very good this year.
Yeah, and
That
I've been
division's down.
I've been saying it since he got drafted. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a star in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, 100%.
for me, I mean, and maybe the Lions aren't necessarily the best pick either because they finished second in that division last year with 9 wins. But for me, I think Atlanta becomes really, really intriguing. Obviously, the addition of Bijan Robinson in that running game that they already had established from a year ago. You've got Desmond Ritter with another year of NFL experience. Marcus Mariota's out the door, so it's his show. And maybe more important than all of that, the NFC South is a tire fire. I mean, you've got Baker Mayfield starting in Tampa, and then you've got a brand new rookie quarterback in Bryce Young in Carolina. And what is Derek Carr going to look like in New Orleans? I think that gives Atlanta, and listen, and we've seen it, despite the lack of value in the NFL, if you can run the ball in the NFL, you can win football games. We basically saw the addition of A.J. Brown open up that running game in Philadelphia, and Jalen Hurts' running ability get the Eagles and a very, very, very good defense all the way to the Super Bowl a year ago. I'm not saying Atlanta's going to play for a Lombardi trophy this year. I really am not. But I think that they have a legit shot at not only winning the NFC South, but maybe even contending for a wild card spot as well.
Yeah, but I'll be honest. I was pleasantly surprised with Baker Mayfield when his first game in Los Angeles last year for the Rams. I think Tampa and maybe change the scenery for Derek Carr. I think both those teams can bounce back. I mean, I know Tampa has been a playoff team and a Super Bowl team in recent years, but they still weren't very good last year, and New Orleans really wasn't. But after the Kamara suspension, you still don't know, is Mike Thomas ever going to come back? If he does, is it going to be normal?
His ankle still hurts.
Yeah. So,
and I think maybe for the first time in franchise history, maybe the most intriguing team in the NFL is the Houston Texans as well. Obviously, C.J. Stroud gets the nod. Again, 2 days after this, you're going to see him for his first time, and I may be eating these words. But the addition of Will Anderson, that defense looks better. They've improved their wide receiver core. They've got a star running back in Damian Pierce in that running game. You've got a good defense in place. You've got a good running game in place. You've added a tight end from Dallas that's going to give you a ton of help and help your young quarterback out as well. I think Houston – they're not going to win the South. I think Jacksonville's as good as advertised and will take another step forward this year. But they're going to be one of those teams that's going to be right on the heels of an AFC wildcard spot. I don't think it helps their case how many really, really good teams there are in the AFC this year, though.
Yeah, I mean, the AFC is just absolutely loaded. I mean, and a team that we haven't talked about yet and still has, for decades, been right there and not made the jump is in the AFC West and the Chargers. Do they finally make the jump this year? I don't know, but they seem to be improving, but their coaching has just made boneheaded mistake after boneheaded mistake in the past, including a couple of years ago, going for it on 4th down and costing yourself the playoffs.
How is Keenan Allen not 56 years old? Like, it feels like that dude has been in San Diego or and played for the Chargers since like before the Obama administration at this point.
Dude, I feel like he was playing when T.O. was in San Francisco.
Yeah, he's been there forever, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy either. That's going to be a big part of Justin Herbert's development as well. We'll wrap it up with this. Give me your Super Bowl predictions before Week 1 starts. Who represents the AFC? Who represents the NFC?
I got the Bengals for the AFC. I think they're just getting better and better. NFC, I got to go with your 49ers, man. They're just – that team's loaded. Quarterback, I'm not totally sold on Brock Purdy, but at least there's not a quarterback controversy anymore.
That elbow is healthy right now, but I mean, he had several other health issues too, so I'm a little concerned by that. Okay, Bengals, 49ers.
At least you guys don't have a controversy anymore.
That's true. Well, I never thought there was because I never liked Trey Lance anyway, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. If I had to pick one right now, I think the Bengals finally get over the hump. They've been knocking on the doorstep for a couple of years. I think this is the year that Joey gets it done.
And he got paid too, so it'd be the year to do it. I'm I really think that Buffalo has a bounce back here. I think Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen are going to be on the same page, and they're going to get that figured out. Winning cures everything, and I think they're going to do a ton of that early. They got a little bit better in the secondary. There's not all that pressure on them this year. You've obviously Hamlin back, and seeing him there may give that team that little bit of edge back that they had after that. That team was never clearly the same since then. They're kind of playing with house money too. Not a lot of people are expecting the Bills. They were the talk of the town last year, the Super Bowl favorite in a lot of people's minds to make it from the AFC. I think they live up to that hype this year. And I'm going to go opposite of you. I think that there's going to be two. I don't think they have a set plan in San Francisco, and you can't rely on Christian McCaffrey to stay healthy, and that's going to be important. I think that offense is going to be a liability all year. I don't believe that Brock Purdy is going to be able to stay healthy. I think he has been rushed back. We're going to see. I could be wrong. That defense is good enough to get to a Super Bowl. I'm going to go a little bit out of left field, though. I'm going to take the Vikings. I think Kirk Cousins kind of gets the naysayers and gets the monkey off his back. I think Justin Jefferson is elite enough, and they've added Jordan Addison, so many other players to that offense. I think that offense is going to be dynamic this year. I got Minnesota and Buffalo in the Super Bowl, and I think Josh Allen gets it done this year and gets his first Super Bowl of his career.
I don't hate it. Don't hate it.
We're gonna talk what you tuned in for. We're gonna throw a little bit of variety in every week from here on out. Maybe a little college football, maybe a little NFL. We're gonna make this a variety show while we also talk about Creighton basketball. Casey Matthews is leaving Creighton. We're gonna find out where he's going. He's gonna join us next to talk all things Creighton basketball here on the Roll Jays podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing.
Do you need a customized online marketing plan and creative campaigns to help scale your business and achieve goals in 2023? Pixel Fire Marketing can not only help you achieve those goals, but we will help you crush them this year. Pixel Fire Marketing lives and breathes digital marketing. Pixel Fire Marketing has experts in strategic content creation, social media marketing, and website development. Check out Pixel Fire Marketing today and attack marketing in 2023.
Welcome back to the Roll Jays podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Alex and I are now joined by former Creighton assistant coach Casey Matthews. Coach, it was announced earlier last week that you're moving on to new adventures. We wanted to get you back on one last time to say thank you for all that you've done for us and doing this podcast with us, and just get a little look into what you're going into, what the future is going to hold for you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. First of all, I always enjoyed my opportunities to get on, whether post game or throughout the week and talk. And with my position being video, not all video guys get the opportunity to do that. So I always loved it. I loved answering the questions and kind of being a part. So appreciate that a lot. What's next for me is besides being taken over for whoever was the biggest Creighton fan. Taking over for them now and replacing them as the biggest Creighton basketball fan in the country. But after that is going to be, I'll be working for Huddle. They're just based out of Lincoln, and I'll be doing mostly sales stuff. I got a couple different conferences that I'm responsible for. But to be honest with you, I don't know all the ins and outs yet. I don't start till next Monday. So for the rest of this week, I'll be cooking. I will be I'm going to do some pork belly burn ends this afternoon. Got to be just hanging with my kids a little bit.
I'm sure the honey-do list extended as soon as this information came out.
a little bit. It'll get worse because now that I'll have weekends and nights off, that list will be long. So but that's okay. I know what I signed up
for. But it'll
so.
actually get done now too.
Yeah, no question. And I can't act like working for Coach Mack was like we were in there all the time. Like, we worked hard. We made sure our jobs were done, but Coach Mack is the best. And I know I always come on here and sound like he's giving me lines. Now he's not because he doesn't pay me.
Turn the camera around. Is Greg standing there?
Yeah, he's not. I promise he's not in my basement. But no, Coach is great. Like, he always wanted you to make sure that you had a good family life as well. But the responsibilities of the job, you'd have to sacrifice.
Big time college basketball, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyways, I will have some more family time. And that was the biggest reason for my decision is to, my kids are 5 and 4. They're not going to be 5 and 4 forever. And so just wanted to make sure that I'm doing what I can to be the best husband and best father that I can be.
Sure.
And I think this allows me to do that at a little higher level.
Yeah, well, as a couple of new husbands, I think Jimmy and I both kind of feel that.
Married to other people. We're not married to each other. I just want to make sure that gets clear.
Hey, to each their own.
Right?
Our weddings were a week apart. We have the certificates to prove that. You mentioned that you have a couple of conferences that you're in charge of. When you say that, are you going to be working specifically with college level athletics on the huddle side, or your high school? What do you know that part of it yet?
Yeah. So my position is Division I college, and where it's so exciting for me is that it's not just basketball. So
Oh, wow.
it's going to be every sport that's under the huddle umbrella that we have products to sell. So soccer, volleyball, ice hockey, you name it. It's, Huddle's got something for you. And so
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
really excited to jump in and learn it. Huddle's pretty well known around here and really across the country, especially from a high school perspective, of like a nice avenue for student athletes to put their highlights online, and coaches can look at them kind of remote, without having to travel. And that side of the business is awesome. And it's provided a lot of opportunities for kids, which is great. But for me, like as a video guy for the last 12 years, no matter where I've been using like what ended up being Huddle sports code software. So it's kind of in my wheelhouse. I'm very comfortable with it. Fantastic company. I'm pretty fired up, but yeah, so I'll be, gosh, I hope I don't mess this up. I know I have the MEAC, I have the Big South, so I'll be reuniting with Coach Huss there.
Right.
He's already texted me like, hey, I'm going to need some discounts and all that stuff.
Sounds on brand.
And the Big Sky. So yeah, so it's great. I'm really excited to just jump in and learn it and get going.
I think it's really good for our listeners that they did not get to hear us last time you were on off air, kind of nerd out about the software, since we both have used it so much.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from past experiences, both coaching high school and everything, having somebody like you that has the level of experience is going to help those staffs so much more than some of the stuff that other people have battled before as this product has grown.
I hope so. I think, this for me, the way I look at this, and again, I haven't done it yet, so maybe I'll totally change my perspective. But, I know for me, when I would get phone calls from, we'll call them sales reps, account executive is my title. Like, if they came about it from a salesy perspective, I was turned off pretty quick. My thing was always like, just build a relationship with me, show me that you care. And then how can your company help me fit the needs and help our program? Almost like consulting in a sense. And that's how I hope to approach it, and just be able to use my background and really like I've told you guys a million times on here, like my favorite part about my job at Creighton was the relationships that I got to have with our student athletes, with our staffs, even the other staffs across the country. That was the best part about the job. And so I think I can still take that mentality forward, and building relationships with people. And that's what I plan to do.
Well, maybe the answer to this next question isn't necessarily an on the court thing. If you had you said it before we came on, 5 years at this job, do you have a favorite moment that stands out to you from your time at Creighton?
Man, I thought I was thinking about what you could be asking me today, and I was thinking this was going to come up. That's really hard to nail down one thing. Winning the Big East championship against Seton Hall, that was probably the coolest moment. My dad was there, and my kids both were alive already, so they got to be there. It was really cool because it was in the CHI, so all the fans were in the building. That's really hard to top. I mean, getting to be a part of the first Coach Mack getting to his first Sweet 16, that'll be a moment that forever, I'll have. To feel like, I contributed in some way to to like helping him get over that hump, which everybody seemed to be talking about when I got here, which I didn't understand why, because from the outside perspective, like that man is an unbelievable basketball coach. So I never understood why the Sweet 16 was always like talked about. So getting over that hump and seeing him in that locker room, and even though it was COVID and it was a little weird, like that was really neat. The Elite Eight was special, but yeah, I don't know. I think that Big East championship, in terms of on the court, is the best. Seeing players graduate is really special. I was at Mitch Ballock's wedding this summer, Jacob Epperson's wedding this summer. Like those moments, man, they're really those are really hard to beat. But on the court, Big East championship.
I had the opportunity to be on the radio leading up to that game, to the Big East championship game, and sitting in the studio in Omaha, you could feel the electricity in the city and how hyped everybody was for that game, and for that team to go out and deliver. To me, is my favorite moment as a Creighton basketball fan. So it's nice to see that memory and that moment was replicated all the way to the coaching staff as well.
Yeah, we could feel it. Going in, I can remember. I remember shoot around that day. Like I remember just the energy was just off the charts. It was a whiteout game. And Seton Hall was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was just going to be roll the balls out and get this done. I mean, they were a good team that had given us trouble. They gave us trouble every year. But that was to start that game off with Damian Jefferson's dunk. That place was incredible.
It set the tone for the rest of the
game. It really did. And then Tyshawn Alexander, Denzel Mahoney late. Like people forget that. I mean, that team was very good.
And very physical. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a special moment, and we could definitely feel that. I mean, from the time the doors opened, like it was like, okay, we don't want to we don't want to let our fans down. But we knew we were in for a battle. And I mean, Coach Willard, he knows how to coach hoops, man. And he had his team ready to go. But anytime I get a chance to have Coach Mack leading my squad, I'm going to take it. And he brought it home.
It's crazy. I've asked a couple of staff members, mainly Murph the most, where last year's team kind of stacks up with some of the previous really good teams.
Yeah.
And that Mahoney and Jefferson team, for whatever reason, doesn't even like roll off my tongue when I ask that question. I ask them about the Watson and Patton team or the McDermott Rogge team during their time in the Big East. And that team goes very underappreciated, in my opinion, now that we're talking about it. Like, that team was quietly very good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously kind of partial because I was sure. I know Mo Watson was a great point guard, and I wasn't here for him, so it's hard for me to really compare. I just know, Marcus Zagorowski is an unbelievable point guard, especially at the college level. Like he was clutch, he was composed, you just always felt like as long as he's on the court, we're going to have a flow to what we're doing. And I mean, you look at that go. I mean, I can remember that game. Like Tyshawn Alexander was unbelievable, especially late. Mitch Ballock is a guy that's like, the guy is so underappreciated. It's amazing to me. But because everybody just remembers like the Ballock bombs, which obviously were incredible. Anybody that could shoot from half court, that's pretty neat. But he did so much more than just make long threes. Stretch the floor, space the floor out for us. He could lead us in transition. We'll skip over the defensive part, but he gave it his best shot out there. And then Denzel could go to the 5 if needed. And then Damian Jefferson was so solid at the 4. Like that team was really, really good. And so I'm glad you said that, Alex, because I do feel like sometimes you kind of lose sight of that. But we were co-champions of the Big East. And the Big East was really good. It wasn't like it was a down year. I mean, we had really good teams. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Again, I wasn't here for those other teams, the Justin Pattons of the world, but I would take that squad. Over anybody that I was a part of.
You're obviously going to have a much different look at it and a different view this year. Is there anything that leading up to and maybe you haven't even thought this far out, but is there anything specifically in the Big East this year from a fan standpoint that intrigues you?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Your eyes.
Yeah. This is what we call a softball question, Casey.
Yeah, it was a softball question. If there was going to be a year for me to just step back and now be a fan, because I was a Big East basketball fan my whole life.
Right.
Yes. I mean, there's so many great storylines that are going to go into this. Like you have Marquette bringing back almost everybody except for Omax. What are they going to do now? They were just talking in the office last week. They're going from the hunter to the hunted. We know firsthand what that's like. That is very difficult to make that transition. Can they do that? I think you have Villanova with some transfers. You got Justin Moore back, like Mark Armstrong, as another year under his belt as a point guard now. Like,
did it surprise you that Justin Moore came back?
It did, and the reason why it surprised me was because he played last year. I didn't understand.
Yeah, that's where I was at too.
That. I thought it was hey, let's play, and maybe it was. Maybe that was the plan: was play and produce, and then go on to the pros. Maybe he just didn't feel like he was good enough yet, and that I don't know all the ins and outs, but yes, it did surprise me. So, them they're going to be loaded. Rick Pitino. He's one of the best ever to do it. He's got a ton of transfers, I know, but he'll figure it out. I know Nemhard's gone, and Nemhard is a great point guard for us, but Stephen Ashworth is unbelievable. Dude shoots the lights out. Phenomenal teammate. I think he adds a ton to what we're doing. And then,
you've mentioned 5 teams, and not even the national champions
are back with that squad. And sure, they lost Snogo, they lost Hawkins, but I mean Donovan Clingan he's a
still
monster.
Pretty good, yeah.
And they brought in some other guys that big time freshmen that are going to be top 5 draft picks. And that's where we'll stop there. But I think you can also look. Providence has everybody back. And Coach English is really good.
Georgetown's got a new head coach.
Yeah, Ed Cooley's the man. I love Coach Cooley, and he's going to have those guys fired up. You just
got me fired up just talking about it.
I cannot wait. I'm telling you, I told April, my wife, I said, hey babe, you have to understand. Yes, I'm not working in college basketball anymore, but don't think I'm not going to watch just as much hoops, especially Big East hoops.
I'm gonna be working.
I'm definitely gonna have a calendar for her and say, hey, here's the games I'm going to. Here's the games that I'm gonna be on the couch. So she knows what to expect there, because I'm gonna be.
Maybe we can get
any shot. Any shot you do some random scouting and shoot it over to the staff.
Yeah, we can do it. Hey, we can. I can jump on here. We can work together.
Maybe after a game this year, we can have you over at DJ's and have you live and just get you to break down some.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. I'd love to be a part of that. So Coach, I'm fired up, man. I'm really excited. Thank you guys.
Thank you for your time today, and good luck at Huddle. And we'll definitely be in touch soon.
Please do, and thanks to all the Jays fans. I love everybody. I'm so excited now to join you as a fan, and. Sorry that whoever was number 1 gets knocked down to number 2.
He came equipped with shirt and hat today, so we're all going to have to step our game up.
You know it, baby.
Hey, Coach,
all the way.
Coach, I got one last one for you. I'm sorry. Today, Tuesday, September 5th.
Okay.
For whoever replaces you on staff, what's your biggest piece of advice?
Man, that's a good one, Alex. I'll tell you this. From a video perspective, my biggest advice is you have to be organized and you have to plan ahead. That has to be the case from a video perspective. The other side of it is Coach Mack loves to joke around. So does John McHugh, and poke at you a little bit when things aren't going right. So I would say make sure you got a thick skin, because you're going to get some barbs and jokes when things don't go right, and things inevitably will not go right all the time. So that would be it. But then also is just enjoy working for the best head coach in the country and for the best fans in the country, because it's a special time.
There you go, Alex. Go and dust off the resume and get that ready to put on there.
I already sent it in.
That's former assistant coach Casey Matthews. Coach, thank you again. Good luck. We'll catch up with you down the road.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon.
We'll be right back on the Roll Jays podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing.
Do you need a customized online marketing plan and creative campaigns to help scale your business and achieve goals in 2023? Pixel Fire Marketing can not only help you achieve those goals, but we will help you crush them this year. Pixel Fire Marketing lives and breathes digital marketing. Pixel Fire Marketing has experts in strategic content creation, social media marketing, and website development. Check out Pixel Fire Marketing today and attack marketing in 2023.
Putting another bow on the Roll Jays podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. We are a very new show, but we've got our first student manager joins us on the podcast. It's Julien Berry. Julien, thank you very much for being here today and giving us a little bit of your time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, week in and week out, we're talking to the coaches on this Creighton staff, and so often somebody in your role gets brought up about making sure the little things are taken care of and the finer details that they don't have time for, and the assists you guys give us. Could you just kind of give us a little bit of a background on what your job title is and exactly what you do for this coaching staff?
Yeah, we kind of are pretty malleable in what we do. We are asked to do a lot of different things, whether it's from, setting up practices or games once the season starts, setting up meals, obviously cleaning everything up. And then the thing I like most is the basketball side of it, whether it's, rebounding before practice, after practice, whenever players want to shoot, and then also breaking down the game. So helping our staff with cutting video or breaking down stats. That's kind of my favorite part.
Yeah, definitely. We were just talking a little offline, and I helped out with some of that stuff when I was down there. Question for you: we had you send over a little bit of a bio. Your major doesn't technically line up with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis with the program. Right. What's your long-term goal?
Long-term, I really do hope to have a career in basketball. I don't know what it is yet. If it's coaching, basically I'd be happy with just sticking around the game as long as I can. Hopefully when I graduate college, I'll be able to be a grad assistant somewhere, which is kind of the next level up.
Did you tell Mac you're coming for his job?
Yeah, I probably should. I don't know. That'll probably
Greg, go take a seat. I got it from here.
Yeah.
You brought it up, and it's interesting. Obviously, you attend a different school. You're from Aurora, Illinois. What led you to Creighton, and how did you land this gig?
Yeah, I had no clue where I wanted to go to college. I kind of applied really everywhere. Creighton is a great school just in general, not even talking about basketball, but it was probably one of the better schools that gave me a decent sized scholarship. I was looking at actually a lot of kind of similar schools to Creighton, like around the Big East, in the Midwest, like Xavier and Butler were some of the other ones that I really considered. But Creighton probably gave me the best scholarship and put me in their business school, which has a pretty good reputation for pretty much everything after college.
Right on. So this wasn't really around when I was down there, because it was the first year in the Big East, but I've heard stories of them coming back. Are you guys having student manager games against other programs?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely something I look forward to a lot. Last year we only got to play, I think, 3, which we're going to try and play way more. It kind of depends on how many travel from different school to school, but those are definitely back. And I definitely plan to reach out to every school we play and see if we can get some runs in.
What's the stat line? What's the stat line? You out there hitting 15 and 10 or?
Definitely not 10, but I'll probably stand around the arc and launch. That's pretty much what I'll do.
That's what brought you to Creighton. You're a let it fly guy. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Julian's a lot like me. I don't step inside the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Alex never found a shot he didn't like either, so kind of stare away from that. Get a couple assists on the line for yourself. leading up to your time at Creighton, I'm assuming you played high school ball. Can you tell us where you played your high school basketball at, and any kind of achievements you had while you were there?
Yeah, so I played at Aurora Central Catholic. That's where I went to high school. It's kind of a smaller school in Aurora. I played through my junior year. COVID kind of messed things up a little bit, but I wasn't that great of a player, I would say. I kind of just got thrown out there off the bench to stand in the corner, so that was kind of my job. So nothing special there. I just really always loved playing basketball and being around the game in general, though.
Andy Reid never played football, and he's got a couple Lombardis, so you might end up being okay.
I know this is going to sound sacrilegious, but Buzz Williams wasn't a basketball player either.
Yeah.
We just talked to Coach Casey Matthews before we had you on, and he worked in the video department as well, and he talked about the grind and how much effort goes into being a coach, and the little things that we don't see, and the glim and the glamour that we get to see at the CHI, where the whole stadium's chanting five guys' names. We all get to see that. We don't get to see the grind that goes into it. Is there any part of this job that maybe you caught off guard that you didn't know what you're getting into, and what part of the grind do you enjoy the most?
I would say the one thing that I didn't expect the most is how deep coaches and support staff go into like breaking down their opponent before a game. Like my high school, we didn't even watch film with the other team before we played them. So coming in where we sometimes like in the tournament, we were breaking down which direction like the Baylor guards like to go or something like that. It really gets pretty in depth, more than I could have thought before doing this, which is something I really enjoy. Another thing is just, this might be more of a manager side of things, but just how often you should be available to rebound for players. We got 16 guys on the roster, and for the betterment of the whole program, it's best that they come in, put work in, get up shots, and we're always there to help with that.
They ever ask you to come out and guard them?
A few times, yeah. I blocked Stephen Ashworth.
There you go. That was the next question. Who'd you get the better of?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm probably around 6'1", 6'2". Okay, gotcha. So
this is a good angle. There. You look 6'6" from here. You look about 6'6" from here. You could have told us anything. So.
Yeah, I probably should have.
Hey, it's funny that you bring up the film stuff, because that's basically what I jumped into there. I will tell you that almost every coach on that staff before you were there under Mac, and that is there now, almost all of them will say they watch more film with Mac because of Mac than anywhere else they've ever been. Mac's just a film junkie. He's known for that. What is your favorite part of Creighton outside of the basketball program?
I would have to say just the environment. It's pretty – I feel like it's more of a small school than most other places. So I like going around and being able to recognize people from all my classes, see familiar faces, things like that. That's probably my favorite part outside of the basketball, which is obviously the best.
What's the manager's favorite bar after a game?
Ooh, I might not be the best person for that, but I would have to say the Dove is one. That's probably the most common one, I would say.
This gets brought up every single episode because most people aren't from here. We got to ask you, what's your go-to spot to get something to eat around Omaha?
That's good.
Creighton cafeteria, Jimmy. He's a student.
Yeah. Outside of campus. It's got to be outside of campus. Do you have somewhere that you didn't know about before that you found this kind of hidden gem?
Definitely a bunch. I would have to say I really like Cali Taco.
Yeah. 30th in California.
That's a good spot.
A staple.
Yeah. That's probably up there for sure. Or Early Bird.
I'll tell you one of my favorite downtown spots. It's not by the arena. It's closer to like 16th and Dodge. Doozies. If you want a sandwich, Doozies is a good one too.
Yeah, definitely. We've carried from there a few times. Really good.
Julian,
you guys still get a lot of Orsies.
Yeah, definitely got to get Orsies. Jalapeno bread will change your life. Julian, we got to ask you. Obviously, there's a ton of changes from the team a year ago to the team this year. From practice, who are some guys that are standing out to you that you're looking that you're excited to see kind of take to the court this winter?
I mean, you got to start off by saying Stephen Ashworth for sure. I think he brings a different type of player to our unit. And then in terms of newcomers, also Isaac. And both those guys can really shoot it. And then also they're just like the best guys off the court too. They're always super friendly, stuff like that. So those would be probably the two that stand out the most.
Well, we greatly appreciate your time today, man, and thank you for all you do for the team. And if you ever need anything from us, we'd be more than happy to help you out as well. We appreciate your time here on the Roll Jays podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for sitting down and talking to me. This is really cool.
Yeah, no, thank you. We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week with another assistant coach. We'll let you know who that is throughout the week. We're also going to have John Bishop, the voice of the Jays, back on to join us as well. For Alex Drake, I've been Jimmy Allen. We'll catch you next week on the Roll Jays podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing.
Do you need a customized online marketing plan and creative campaigns to help scale your business and achieve goals in 2023? Pixel Fire Marketing can not only help you achieve those goals, but we will help you crush them this year. Pixel Fire Marketing lives and breathes digital marketing. Pixel Fire Marketing has experts in strategic content creation, social media marketing, and website development. Check out Pixel Fire Marketing today and attack marketing in 2023.